Good day, everybody. Rob here at WestPacificWeather.com. It is currently the 4th of November, 2010, and a very nice day out there. I don't think we could ask for much of a better day. High pressure is dominating much of the Western Pacific from Taiwan to South Korea and much of Japan, all dominated by a very vast area of high pressure. A very weak trough extending throughout just south of Hanchi here, but just creating some cloudiness throughout that area. But to note, though, as we move to the south, though, there is a TCFA developing here just to south of Hue, Vietnam. Moving on shore today, not looking at too much development out of this, but it is going to bring a lot of rain showers to Vietnam here. So not really a good situation as far as that goes, because as we know, this entire area really affected strongly by the monsoon this season. So definitely not really too much of good news there. And also moving out towards the west here in the Indian Ocean, but still affecting much of Asia here. So we're still going to talk about it. Is this TCFA right here in the Bay of Bengal, just to the west of the Andaman Islands here. And it looks like it's going to be moving towards the west and could develop into a cyclone here and making landfall near Sri Lanka or the east coast of India here over the next 72 to 96 hours. So we'll talk a little more on that here in a minute, but going back to the Western Pacific, you have H being stamped all the way from China, South Korea, and throughout much of Japan. So very fair weather throughout this entire area, extending all the way out towards the Westpac Eye farther out this way. And as you can see, some of these isobars on the north or eastern portion of the box right in here, that's still associated with that very strong low farther up to the north there in the Sea of O, but not really affecting too much of a population up there. Farther down south here, though, it still has the monsoonal trough extending throughout much of the Philippines here, producing some rain showers, especially in the southernmost islands today. But otherwise, though, we move farther out to the west here. We're going to really talk about this invest area. 99 Whiskey, now a TCFA, moving off towards the west, towards Sri Lanka and India. And we look at the ASCAT imagery here. ASCAT imagery is taken by basically images being to the surface of the ocean and just taking the direction and the height of the waves, and you get this overall anticyclonic circulation out of it. And this is really showing this low-level circulation for the system. One of the main reasons why the TCFA was likely upgraded by JTWC here. So moving off towards the west right now, and we're going to look where the system is headed right now, and then show the GFS model here. They show the storm possibly making landfall south of Madras overnight on the 6th into the 7th here as a very strong, actually a severe cyclone, lowest pressure around 992 millibars, so a very strong system out of this. Could see wind upwards of about 100 knots or even stronger than that. And as we move over the no gap, so also showing a landfall overnight on the 6th here, but a similar track as well, but making it a little more south, making landfall in Sri Lanka here, just on the northern periphery of the island. So just another thing to note, both of the models very in good agreement though of a development out of this system, and that's another reason likely why JTWC really did upgrade this system here. But right now though, India still does not have any warnings out on the system per their webpage. When I click on observed and forecasted track, still just says no cyclone. So just another thing to note, they're really not forecasting anything out on this yet, but it really does look like in the future this will develop. And as we look at the microwave imagery here, still seeing some very poor organization out of the system. But if you look closely, there is some circulation here. You see some rain bands developing here over the Andaman Islands, and a really strong convection on the northwestern periphery here. So there is definitely the potential here for this system to develop. So where do I think the system's going to go? Well, given all the information we got the storm center right in this region, just to the west of the Andaman Islands, and let's put a tropical depression symbol on there because Thailand's actually already calling it a tropical depression. Forecasting this move off to the west, eventually making landfall near Sri Lanka or it's the east coast of India in about 48 to 72 hours, set overnight on the 6th. But I'm actually thinking it's going to make landfall in the northern periphery of Sri Lanka here. Now, this is an unofficial forecast, just my thoughts on this system, but really does look like that given the streamlined analysis and what the models are showing right now. Could be a severe cyclone or the equivalent of a typhoon as it starts to make landfall here. But given that though, the initial forecast on this, it could also differ from that and could even be much weaker. But if I lived anywhere south of Madras and the east coast of Sri Lanka here, definitely would watch this system very closely. Even if it doesn't develop that much, it could still be a very strong tropical storm as making landfall here. Still caught a cyclone actually out here, but still could be very strong and bring heavy rainfalls throughout this entire area. So definitely something to watch here over the next 48 hours. But as we move back to the east here, we still have 90W here making landfall over Vietnam. Lots of heavy rainfall associated with that, but really not looking at too much development. It is already moving over land. But another thing to watch here, definitely going to see some very strong rainfall south of Hilo throughout this entire region right in here. But that's all for today, everybody. Thank you for listening. WesternPacificWeather.com. As always, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please email them to me or post them to the boxes on the right-hand side of the webpage here. Also find me at storm2k.org. Plenty of meteorological discussion on these systems I've already talked about here today. So stay safe out there. Stay tuned to your local meteorological departments as well. Make sure you check on those official forecasts and likely have another update by tomorrow morning. All right. Have a great day. Bye.